Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the arena, Magic the Gathering arena. We're back for Theros Beyond Death. And for our first deck of the set ever, because I'm pretty sure it's this deck, these first few decks or meta decks are gonna rotate out pretty soon. Not in the sense that they're gonna rotate because of the cards, rotating out, but because that's just how it is. In the beginning, it's always that way. So, yes, we have a Grixis Exile mill. So, very, very amazing card here. If you watch the live stream, I was, or if you've been in the live stream of the pre-release event, you may have noticed, and you may be noticing now or realizing now that a lot of these powerful decks make use of the escape mechanism, wherein they have to they have to sacrifice 5 other cards from the graveyard in order to reuse them. So it's kind of like Croxa, for instance, is 2 to cast, very easy, you can put it down, but you can't actually attack with it until it escapes from wherever it's supposed to be escaping from Theros, from the underworld. Anyway, so what we did to counter that during the pre-release was sort of to reduce their ability to discard, because there was a deck, I believe it was Bant, was it Bant or Simic? I don't remember. It was one of those things, Bant or Simic, self-mill, wherein they would purposefully mill cards and make so that they can use these escape creatures immediately and gain that advantage. But during that short time of the event, that was sort of the current meta deck, the most powerful one that you can ever have, and a lot of people were using it. So what we did was we reduced that ability by exiling more of their stuff with Ashiok. Now this is just experimental. Ideally, I think I'd like to have like 2 more Ashiok in my sideboard, just in case, like if my opponent has a lot of removal. So yeah, maybe that would be great. And then at the same time, we're sort of milling our opponent of their important cards. So I'm sorry, I'm so passionate about Grixis, and I love Grixis so much. Anyway, so that's why we have these cards. We have Yarok Friendlurker, so that we can get that early game exile and all that. We got Thought Erasure, because of course Thought Erasure, why not? It's one of the best cards to have when you're running any deck that has blue and black. Agrat's Rampage for actually Agrat's Rampage hasn't been very fruitful for this deck, so if you want, you can remove it, replace it with another Bedevil and another removal, or add something else. Everything is so new, so fresh, so it really depends on how the meta is shifting, ever so shifting. Now, because of that problem, as I said, it's not easy to discard 5 cards. It's not easy to have 5 cards in your graveyard to be able to have that, especially if you don't have things like Surveil, which allow you to discard things, or if unless you're willing to discard your own hand, or your own I don't know, whatever, with whatever can Surveil and discard. So we have the Royal Scions in there. That's so that we can draw and discard. Normally, it's also a good draw card, so that you can see it's also a good discard card if you need to use Croxa. And then we've got Davriel, we've got Ashiok. Ashiok is probably your what is it called? Your counter card against those Simic and Bant decks that make use of a lot of these escape mechanisms. So Ashiok's there, and I do foresee once this deck Grixis comes out and people start seeing it and how how amazing it is for the current meta. I think it will be one of those decks that you will use, but it will probably won't last very long. So that's why I as always I suggest that you hold off on using your wild cards to craft things. But if you remember back then, Grixis was actually one of the hardcore meta decks for a while, and so most of these expensive cards out here are gonna you probably already have them if you've been playing Grixis during those times. So we've got Ritual Suit, we've got Atris. Atris is a funny card. It's a draw ability, obviously, but it also serves as a creature with menace, and it's also a discard ability. So there's a lot you can do with it. There's a lot of information going into this card, and that you can use or manipulate. You just got to be careful because your opponent can use that information to play against you, and that's why Atris is such an interesting card. But it's also got so much value in there. Ashiok Nightmare Muse is it's one of those things. I've used it several times to exile a card. I've used it to the +1, keep my opponent at bay, because if you have that nightmare creature on the board, sometimes they're not exactly that keen on attacking because they don't want their top 2 cards to get exiled, because that's still, no matter what you say, that's still 2 cards that get exiled, and they could be important. So yeah, we've got Nicol Bolas because of the draw and exile, obviously, and Nicol Bolas can also serve as sort of your win condition. Then we got Discovery Dispersal, which is also a draw and a means to discard stuff if you need to, because it's Surveil 2, so that's 2 cards immediately in the bin. You also got Dispersal if you need it, most likely not. Then there's Disinformation Campaign, because there's a lot of interaction with this deck. So there's a lot of countering, answering, removal, using of like Yarok, because it's very cheap. Look at that, the mana curve is there's a lot of 2 to cast, 3 to cast, even some 4 to cast, and then the biggest card that you're going to be using is most likely going to be your win conditions, which is Nicol Bolas and Ashiok. And Krokcha if you're going to escape and put it down for that 6/6 creature. Along the way, I've had problems. I've only added this Ritual Suit now now that it's in standard, that all the cards are legal. Back in the pre-release, I wasn't really having much trouble with Ritual Suit, because I've noticed there's a lot of go wide white weenie decks circulating in my current matchmaking. So I thought, all right, you know what, I need Ritual Suit. I need to be able to deal with all of those tokens. But back in the pre-release, when I was playing this deck, there wasn't a lot of everyone's just so excited to use these big cards, and making use of abusing the escape mechanism. I'm sorry, I feel like I am rambling on too much about this explanation, but it is such a good deck. I am so excited for it. I guess the best way for you guys to actually really gauge if it's really good is for you guys to actually try it yourself or to see it into gameplay. Oh yeah, Thesa's Intervention. This is also a very high value card for any deck that you have a blue mana in it, blue lands in it, because for one, it can serve as a sort of scry and draw ability for 2, and at the same time, it's a very flexible counter spell in that the controller has to pay twice. So take that as you will, take that information, do what you want. But this deck isn't it isn't counter heavy, so that's why we only have 2 of it. Most that we want to do with this, what I had envisioned for this deck, was to hand hate and Exile and all that. Anyway, I may have said so much. This intro alone is already 10 minutes. I'll see you guys into gameplay. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thought I got rid of this. Gotta remember to get rid of it. I mean, on paper, it's great. On paper, what it does is just, it's amazing. I won't deny it. But, oh, come on. Nickel bolus. Let's see. Got black, we can put down a red. Nickel bolus, we have 4, but that needs, do we have the 3 black? No. We don't even have, I passed on it because for one, yeah sure we have 4, but chances are it's just going to turn into a stock card. There we go, we got Blood Crypt. That's always nice. We got Blood Crypt, we got Shepherd of Flock. Yes, use it. Because I'm doing that 3 damage. I have another one anyway, so put something bigger. I think he's gonna put anything. That is such a value card though. Blue or it doesn't look like he's playing. I want to wait for this Kasala.
Dream big.
Oh wow, we took out 4 of his little lions. We got 3 out. That was lucky. That's this trick. He's gonna make a move for his haste, right? 3. And yeah, it's gonna turn to 4. Yeah, he's pissed. Yeah, he's pissed. Okay. I figured. He's not happy. So I used 2. And I want to probably not. Okay, Ashio, turn 5, and then we can. Not bad. Might have like a feather. Well, that's 2. I think I do want to.
The regrets of the dead are the sweetest ingredient.
Card.
I will haunt you. Recoil to the recess of your mind.
Hope that he doesn't have that. Okay. We can do this.
My kin
There's a
are
little
delightfully friendly.
Put this out. I wonder what happened. Antilawar. Ashu. I want to put this down for 3 so that I can. Or. I think I do. So a little risky what I'm doing with my health. Oh boy. I used the Sala. Pay for 2, have him pay for 2. He has to. Puts that down, I can block. What is this? Alright, sure. Good thing, yeah. I got him to stop. Good. That's good. I got him to stop. No. I feel like
Terror lurks among us.
Blast. Yeah, no. I think I'm. This is instant, so I can. Wait. He's drawing 1 card. He puts something down that's pretty hefty. Enters the battle, return in a from your graveyard. Nope. Can't. Pays twice. Oh, that's 2. I choose. Yes, you pay. Or which he has. Or 5. It buys us a little bit of time. A little bit. We can do this. And back this champion so that it gets bounced.
Back to shadow. You will feel inspired.
I think we can afford to attack 1. Have him discard 2 cards. Okay. I don't think he's gonna block. Let it through. I mean, gonna have first right. I can still prevent him. I can make him pay for 4. War blessing. And keep people out of here. I think it's +1/+1. That's just other targets. Do I use it now or, well, it's just haste. If I use it to block, that's all he's gonna do, right? When Murder enters the battlefield, enchanted creature fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Oh, okay. I think I have to. 5, 6. I have to use all 4. Prevent him from using it. Because he gets 1 free attack. I can jump block. Like that was important, or maybe not important. I don't know. Temple of Physique. Yeah, he didn't want to attack because of that very exact reason. That was pretty okay. So I think well,
the shadows awaken.
There's a lot of things except. Right, so I think this is really risky, but sure. Gain the advantage.
Close your eyes and
Get it back.
dream of
Have him.
me. Curse your breath. Recoil to the recess of your
I
mind.
can just have him discard 4. Look out. I got a creature. And he got a land. Okay, that's a good sign.
All your fears are given.
We have enough for a devil. For a reactor.
I am that which nightmares themselves. Your fight. I aspired for more.
That's gonna be 6 cards. 4 and there goes his crawl harpoon. I think he wants to act. But we'll wait. We'll wait for him.
My victory was but a dream.
This was surprisingly effective.
Terror
Take
lurks
it in.
among us.
At 6, or actually 8. He's gonna let it hit. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, I could have put down the Devrail, and he would have taken that 2 damage. Only 4 cards left.
I'll return where you slumber.
The shadows awaken.
I don't know what he was trying for there. Alright, good start. Temple of Deceit. Another Temple of Deceit for 4 mana. Oh, Temple of Epiphany. I think I wanna turn to Watery Grave. That should be, that seems more logical. Isn't the logical case? Oh no. Which card? I am actually more afraid of he's got Giant Tiller. Actually am more afraid of Axos. 2 colorless artifact, wall, artifact, creature, defender. We get rid of Daxos. You know, Daxos. Blooded Crypts may not be so bad, but considering that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we already have the 3 black. We just need 1 red. Man. I think I'll pass. We have 2 scries, so. Okay. Okay. That's not half bad. We got disinformation. That's okay. I'm thinking of, well, we can't Thesa's intervention. I'm thinking probably Discovery. Our go-to. Temple of Deceit. We already have enough. We have one here left. We've got Disinformation Campaign next turn. Actually thinking of using Faster.
Gideon Jura, at your service. Your light will cleave the
We got
darkness.
the 2 Disinformation Campaign. What else is he? We don't need Castle Vantress, right? Well, all things considered, might need that card. He has Gideon Jura, which is kind of scary. We can put down Disinformation, throw out a card, have him discard one. Oh, good. So we can actually, we'll have to change that damage. That's gonna hurt a little bit.
I will lend you my strength.
But like I said, we don't have a lot going on for us here. We got Ashiok, but we don't have the 5 because we passed on so many. I'm thinking Angrat's Rampage. We have to get rid of that again. He has to sacrifice a Planeswalker. Faces Intervention. I passed on so many land, but I think it was in good effect. Destroy or can't miss. Okay. I guess he's just out of things. Isn't really. Fucking. Oh man. Okay.
Let me lead the charge into darkness. Prepare for battle!
Get killed. Sure. Well, what's he got left? Giant Killer. We're both in kind of a rut. Okay. Well, we were kind of toe to toe. I don't know why he conceded.